Good morning. It's Naima Singletary with the Power to Lead, which is where I am every weekday at 9 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Paris time. However, starting next, I think it's whatever day the 21st falls on, March 21st, the time will be changing to 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I will be broadcasting from Italia starting next week on the 21st. And my gift to you today, today's topic for today is be the first to live more abundantly than your bloodline, your family line. Now, that title in and of itself is assumptive. It's assuming that you are perhaps the family line from which you come, you desire to create more than them. That, right? So that's assumptive. I get that. So this may or may not be relevant to you. And if it's not relevant, I imagine you'll leave. So this is really speaking to melanin messengers who, or non-melanin messengers, because I have a 2-week vortex going on right now. I started this past Monday, and it's going until Monday after next. And there's a woman in there. She's not a melanin woman. But the topic that she talked about is what I'm talking about here today. It's deeply relevant. And so whatever family that we're born into, there are ties, okay? We are connected to this family. This is all cultures, all ethnicities, etc. And whatever is normal for that family typically is perpetuated through the generations. It's called pathology, in the event you didn't know. I don't mean to talk down in the event you didn't know. Just in case you didn't know, I want to make sure you know so you can follow today's topic. And so pathology is the ongoing normalcy of whatever is going on in a bloodline. So, if your great grandfather or great great grandfather was an alcoholic, and then your and then your father, and right. So it's and then the tip common knowledge is that you are likely to. Can you turn that down some, please? The common knowledge is that, okay, then it's likely that you will have alcohol issues, and right. And so the same thing in the finance department. Let's say you come from a family of means, and so you were raised in that environment. So then it's normal to you to be a family of means. And so you perpetuate that in your family, right? And it's like maintaining that wealth and that life of means within that bloodline. And alternatively, if you come from a family where financial struggle is the norm, okay? But let's say you come from a family where financial struggle is the norm, but you are here for something different. You are here to be the first to break that pathology. You are here to be the first to have more than what is normal in your bloodline. That's who I'm talking to here today. That's what I really want to get at here today. And so this is really good. This is really, really good. It's something worth talking about. So a woman in my vortex that I was just telling you about, and I'm using her as an example because it's just such a beautiful example of breaking pathology and what it feels like when you're on the cusp of breaking that pathology. So this woman is from another country. I won't say, but she's from another country, and financial struggle is normal in her bloodline. And she now has a desire to serve at a great level, make great money. And we're not even talking about 7 figures, multiple 7 figures. We're talking about even just multiple 6 figures. She would be very happy with multiple 6 figures doing her signature work in the world and serving. And yet she revealed to us in the group, which is, I'm loving in this group because people have the freedom to really express. Such a small group. There's only 6 people, including me. So it's just so wonderful. So she shared a video in the group, and she talked about what she identified within herself was that part of her financial struggle is that because she has done the feast or famine thing, where she had money and then she didn't have money, had money, didn't have money. And what she discovered about herself is that not having money is one of the ways that she's able to relate to her mom, being connected to her mom. Okay, now this is something you must be aware to even see in yourself. And so in breaking this pathology, her coming into greater financial resources and maintaining that, not going into the sometimes she has it, sometimes she doesn't, right? Makes money, loses it, spends it, whatever. To consistently make that money, in a way, is breaking the pathology, breaking the kind of connection she has with her mother. So it's no longer connecting through, oh, we're both poor. Oh, we're connected because look at how we relate. We're like each other. Versus this person who brought you into the world is still in this place of financial struggle, and you, financially ascendant, somehow you're not that anymore. You're something else. And it's like, how do you find the connection still with your mom or whoever, right? Your mom, dad, sister, whoever that you find yourself wanting to remain connected to. So in my feedback to her, it was really talking to what's more pronounced. Well, obviously, right now, what's more pronounced is her desire to be connected to her mother, because she's maintaining this not having the money she wants so she can feel that connection to her mother. And so it's like looking at the truth of it, that and her desire to really want to serve, and not even her desire, not is the desire and the pain she feels by not doing her thing in the world. Like, this is a woman who knows that she's here to affect massive positive change in the world. She's very clear about that. She has zero doubt about that. She knows that she's an anomaly. She knows. She's clear that there's nothing else that she wants to do but do her work. So just imagine that as a profile, like everything that I just described about her. And yet this pronouncement of really wanting this connection with her mother and the war between the two, the war. And that ultimately there will be a decision, ultimately, because she's going to suffer. And I told her this with love, that she's either going to suffer more than average suffering only because of who she is. Like, if she was a normal person, she would have a different kind of suffering. Like, she would suffer the way everybody sort of has mediocre life and, just like normal people suffering. But because of who she is, because she's an anomaly, because she was born to affect massive positive change, because she's just like drawn and compelled to do her thing. If she doesn't do that, if she allows these lower nature things to have more gravitational pull in her decision making, ooh, Lord have mercy, I know it. And so my prayer, even right now in this moment, for her and all of us like her, who know that you're here to affect massive positive change in the world, who feel compelled and convicted by your work, and yet these gravitational pulls of the third dimension, this wanting to feel this connection, which she even identified as false. She has the wisdom to be able to know that it is false, and yet she still seems to be controlled by it in some kind of a way, and having more of a belief in that false connection than she does in the promise inside of what she was born to do. And I pray right now that she strengthen the muscle of knowing, not belief. Strengthen the muscle of knowing that she is fully provided for, fully, abundantly, more than she could ever even imagine. When she cultivates that strength and that muscle of knowing, her and all of us, and to give her whole self over to that, because, dear God, she has been so long giving herself over to this falseness that appeals so very real, this falseness, this false engagement, this false connection, this disserving connection, this just torturous connection to all these things here that seem very true. And we ask that she then give herself over to this thing that she absolutely knows, this thing that she knows, that she knows, that she knows, and strengthen the muscle there, deepen the gravitational pull there, so that she's no longer held hostage by these petty, destructive, murderous, third dimensional elements. This is my prayer for her, myself, and all of us. So, as I started to say yesterday, and if Facebook allows it, because remember, Facebook was down yesterday, and I tried to go live. I literally got myself ready, got in front of the camera, went to my private Facebook group, and tried to go live, and it was like, sorry. And all day, I was supposed to do 2 Facebook Lives with affiliates, couldn't do it. Facebook and Instagram was down all day. But what I wanted to talk about was the expensive price of being the first. It's expensive. It is expensive to be the first. I'm going to keep saying this as long as I'm in service to Melanin Messengers. And that is, what you are crafting has not been seen yet. So you must be the one to have full faith, because nobody else sees it. They're not going to see it until you charge it and lead it and start to build it up little by little, bringing people in, bringing in the resources, the people, all the things. Remember, you're birthing signature work. You're birthing things people have not seen. So if you don't have the faith, it never comes to light. Now, it might be extracted from you at some point and then given to somebody else. It's like, I love the story that Elizabeth Gilbert, the writer, she was the, that movie, what was the name of that? Big Magic. She wrote a book called Big Magic. But she did a book that was Eat, Pray, Love. Eat, Pray, Love. The author of Eat, Pray, Love. And she did a talk. I think she did a talk. And she talked about how, anyway, I'm going to say it the way I remember it, whether it was her telling somebody else's story or something. But what I recall was she talked about how, ideas, the spirit of ideas, like all over the planet, right? You know how you'll be thinking of something and then you'll talk to somebody and they'll be like, yeah, I was thinking about that like 6 months ago, or I thought of that like 3 years ago. And it's like somebody will be given an idea or instructed to do something, and then it's with them for a while, that where they get the endowment, they get the power, they get the volition, they get everything that they need to go, and then they don't go because fear and what are people going to think and how am I going to do that and I can't do that, and because they look at who they are now, not realizing God qualifies the call. So even if you feel like you're not, you will be qualified to do the thing. And so they don't do anything. They sit and think about it and they pray, but they never do anything. And God is like, you praying, take action. I will answer in your action. Take action. I will answer in your action. And why, when, I don't know, why me? I want to be connected. All this face. So then the idea leaves them. It lifts from them. And then it moves through the earth. And then it drops on some other human being. And then some other human being gets the chance to do it. And that other human being may or may not do it. And then they do it, and then it comes out into the world, and it's like, voila. So an example of that is this. My mom had an idea. She had an idea for, you put a garbage bag in a garbage can, and this doesn't happen anymore. But if you didn't have a certain kind of garbage can, or you didn't have something to hold it in place, as you started to put garbage in it, the bag might fall in. That used to be, and my mom had this idea to create some kind of like garbage clips or some kind of idea she had to put the bags in place, keep the bag in place. And she thought about it and never did anything about it, right? That's pretty common for folks when they have an idea and then don't act on it. And then it was like a year or 3 years later, we ended up seeing it on, I think it was QVC, that very idea. And it was successful, and they were selling out, and we ended up seeing it in like Walmart, I think, or something like that. And we were like, wow, that happened to my mom twice with 2 different ideas that she had. And so even though I like that story as I'm saying it right now, that's a little bit different than your signature work as I'm thinking about this, because your signature work you were uniquely made for. You were uniquely made for, right? We're not talking about garbage can things, right? Which anybody who decides they want to do that can do that. We're talking about literally, so I have a more appropriate, oh my God, I wish I had my laptop over here. You know what? I want this so bad. I'm gonna go grab my laptop and pull it up. Hold on. Yay! Okay. This is really good. This is really good for those of us who are born to birth signature work. This is critical. This is so good. Gosh. Hold on. Thank you for your. I'm gonna paraphrase because there's, and when I say it, you might know what I'm talking about. So she said that there's a something in you that she said it's not your job to understand it. It's not your job to determine its value. And I'm paraphrasing. It's not your job to determine if it should or should not happen. It's your job to be the vessel for bringing it through. Because if you don't bring it, it never gets delivered to the world. Something like that. But I just love the way she said it. It was so clear and succinct. It's not your job to determine its value. So anyway, be the first. Have the courage and be willing to pay the price of being the first. Many will not like you. Many will judge you. Many will make you wrong, bad, the devil. Many people will misunderstand you. And alternatively, those who you are meant to serve will love you. They will adore you. They will come alive because of you. They will, you will have people who will feel like life is, lacking in meaning and it's lackluster, and they will hear you. They will read your words. They will see you somewhere. They will listen to you speak. And literally, it's like a symphony sound. I'm not just trying to be poetic here. This is a fact. You just got to be willing to waddle through all the hard stuff. You just got to be willing to be the first. So that's it. I wish I had this piece here. I'm gonna, I think I have a few moments when I hang up here, I can try to find it and then post it beneath the video, because it's really good and I really love it. So, all right, I am gonna go now. I'll be on Instagram if they let me, because remember, it was down. So if they let me, I'll be on Instagram in about 9 minutes, dropping some nuggets over there. And then if Facebook lets me, I'm gonna go live inside of my private 5-figure clients for Melanin Messengers Facebook group at 11 or 12